Man is an amazing being who can adapt to almost any conditions. In the southern part of Thailand there is a unique village in Koh Panyi, almost entirely located on stilts. We tell you why they built several football fields there. How did a Muslim village form in a country where almost the entire population professes Buddhism? And why were the houses built above the water? Koh Panyi is located in the picturesque Phang Na Bay, between Phuket and Krabi province. The village is located near the island of the same name right at the foot of the limestone rock formation. Actually, the view from above prompted me to make this video. This village looks very unusual, and its history turned out to be very interesting. It all started at the end of the 18th century. Several Malay families set sail in search of a better life. Their starting point differs in different sources. According to one version, they sailed from the island of Java, on the other from the territory of the current Malaysian state of Kedah. The families agreed that the first one to find a place where a lot of fish live should raise a flag for the rest. The first was Tababu. It is believed that he and several other families are the ancestors of most of the villagers. In those days, the law allowed only Thai to own land. An enterprising fisherman found a way out. They began to build settlements right above the water. The first objects on land appeared only at the end of the XX century, after tourism began to develop actively in Thailand. The houses are built of wood and bamboo and stand on stilts resembling the legs of flamingos. It is clear that such a material cannot be called eternal, especially given the constant contact with water. Naturally, the locals have to not forget about the repair of buildings and structures on which they are held, otherwise the accommodation will simply become unsafe. Now the population of Koh Panyi is about 1,700 people. At the same time, departure from the village is encouraged, because it is not possible to significantly increase its area due to unfavorable natural conditions during the rainy season, which in Thailand lasts from mid-May to mid-October. It may seem strange, but one of the iconic sites of the village has become a football field. A beautiful, inspiring story is connected with it, and it's amazing that no one has yet made a feature film based on it. But there is a short film created thanks to the Thai Tembai Bank. The field appeared in the second half of the 1980s. It was built by local boys, inspired by the 1986 FIFA World Cup. Purposeful children were not stopped by obstacles in the form of the fact that their entire village stands on stilts. They wanted to play by all means. Adults did not believe in the ideas of small enthusiasts, but the kids did not give up and built a floating field after school from the wood they could collect. For example, fishing rafts were used. Of course, the field they made did not meet any safety standards, but the young players were not discouraged. Everything that prevented them from playing, they perceived as an opportunity to improve control of the ball. One day, a poster from the mainland of the country came to the village telling about the school football championship of southern Thailand. The guys decided to participate in it, and the adults, who by that time had already been convinced of the seriousness of their intentions, helped with the acquisition of uniforms. The players from Koh Panyi reached the semi-finals. It rained heavily during the match, and after the first half they lost with a score of 2-0. For the second part of the game, the boys went barefoot so that wet shoes did not interfere. Besides, it was much more familiar to them to run like that. They managed to even the score, but the opponent eventually snatched the victory in the last minutes of the match, and the guys from Koh Panyi then pulled themselves together and won the match for third place. But more importantly, they managed to inspire the audience with their love of football and received incredible support. By 2011, Panyi FC was one of the most successful youth football clubs in southern Thailand, and the boys who built the pitch in 1986 are now grown men who have given incredible motivation to new generations. Due to the success of the team and with the support of sponsors, a second football field was built much safer than the first. This story has inspired millions of people around the world. For a long time, the population of Koh Panyi lived mainly due to fishing. At the end of the 20th century, the income received was no longer enough, and the local postman offered to earn more with the help of tourism. His advice was heeded, and guests from all over the world came to the village. So restaurants with Thai and Western cuisine and souvenir shops appeared in Koh Panyi. You will not find luxury hotels here, but you can stay in a bungalow specially built for tourists. In addition to the joy for guests, the village has everything necessary for permanent residents. In particular, a school, a medical center, a market with goods brought from the mainland. There is electricity and internet and a two-story mosque. The latter is clearly visible from the water. And in general, it stands out strongly against the background of other buildings. Inside it was decorated with marble, for which it is worth saying thanks to donations. By the way, the mosque does not stand on stilts. This is one of the first buildings that was allowed to be built already on the island. Since Koh Panyi is a Muslim-dominated place, it is strongly not recommended to bring cigarettes, alcohol, and pork to the island. Well, it's better to dress modestly. As you probably already understood, the predominance of Muslims is due to the Malay origin of the first settlers. In general, 95% of the population in Thailand profess Buddhism. Both boys and girls go to the Muslim school in the village. Local education is informal, so some young men attend more serious educational institutions. For example, in the same Phuket, which is located just 40 kilometers to the south, village children are taught from childhood to take care of nature. Together with the teachers, they collect cans and bottles, and then hand them over. At the same time, the proceeds go to the development of the school. And boys and girls get useful theoretical and practical knowledge in the field of agronomy. Together with teachers, they grow vegetables using hydroponics. This system in the conditions of Koh Panyi is a real find, because it allows you to engage in crop production without using soil. As a rule, tourists get to the village on long-tailed boats. They are brought only in the dry season, so it is impossible for the locals to live only on the income from guests. At the same time, the settlement on stilts is just an intermediate point. Often, the main destination is the so-called James Bond Island, but on Koh Panyi, guests are greeted by local guides who are very proud of their village and are always happy to show its main attractions. Koh Panyi is not the only surface village in the world. In one of the previous videos we talked about the Uru people. Its representatives live on islands made of reeds. In general, there is an opinion that floating cities are a story not only about the past, but also about the future. Well, however, only time can confirm or deny this. That's all, friends. Share the video if you liked the story of this unusual village. Until new videos. Bye.